In this video, we're going to tackle two things: where you can keep your money and how to fundraise for your organization. First, let's talk about banking. It's required that each student organization has a bank account. You can't just keep money in a box or in your personal account. One option is to get funding from the Associated Students of UCR, or ASUCR, and ask to start an account. They will have you create a budget proposal, and then the Senate will decide how much startup money to give you. It's advantageous to apply for funding in the summer or early fall, so make sure that you stop into ASUCR during that time to set up an appointment to create your budget. The tricky thing about ASUCR is that they work entirely on reimbursements. So if you want pizza at a meeting, someone would need to buy the pizza, keep the receipt, and then get reimbursed through ASUCR. Make sure your treasurer knows all the expectations before you spend any money. ASUCR has documents and guidelines you can read through to become familiar with all their processes. The other option for banking is to go to an FDIC-approved off-campus bank or credit union. If you go this route, you'll have to rely entirely on fundraising or member dues to fund your organization. But once you have money in your account, you'll be able to write checks or even get a debit card from that account. The only reason an individual should be paying for things is if you're doing it to get reimbursed through ASUCR. Otherwise, you should be using organization funds for your account. If you have dues, or you're confident in your fundraising abilities, this is often an easy route for groups to take, especially if you're going to be doing big purchases, such as trips or conferences, that a single student couldn't really pay for and wait to get reimbursed. If you're banking off campus, you'll also be responsible for getting your own tax ID number. This will now be required for you to reserve spaces on campus, so it's essential that you find out what that number is. If you don't have a tax ID number, which we call an employer identification number, or you want to open a bank account off campus, there's another video that we have that's entirely dedicated to opening that account. So check out the description and follow that link to watch that video.
Now, you might be asking if you can have both an ASUCR account and an off-campus bank account. And the answer is yes. You can use ASUCR to get reimbursed, in addition to having a bank account that you put all of your fundraised money and dues into.
So, let's talk about how to fundraise for startup money. There are several ways to fundraise, such as car washes, going to local restaurants, and setting up fundraisers there, and selling food or other things on campus. Remember that you need to reserve the space as soon as you're selling something. There are some surefire ways to make substantial money that groups often don't think of. The first is to contact local businesses and negotiate sponsorships. Whatever deal you make is between you and the business, so think about how much you're asking for and what you can give in return. Some examples might be ordering t-shirts and putting their logo on the back, putting their logo on your flyers, or printing out their logo to hang up behind your speaker or stage at your big event. You can decide how much these things are worth.
Another way to fundraise is to bring a business onto campus. We call these vendors. Every time you walk by the bell tower and you see a business set up out there, maybe selling posters or clothing, that's a vendor. And they need a student organization to bring them onto campus. You can bring a vendor twice a quarter, and each time the vendor has to pay you at least $150 or more depending on what you negotiate. Once you have a business you are working with, head up to the Highlander Event Scheduling Office at 353 Hub to start the process. The scheduling office will work with you to get all the info they need and then approve the vendor to come onto campus.
You can make $300 easy.
There is one fundraiser that groups try to do, but it's actually illegal, so we want to stress not to do them. In this section, we want to emphasize that your group should not be doing any sort of paid raffle. You shouldn't be holding raffles at your events because they could potentially be considered gambling. If you want to do a raffle, tournament, or anything else that requires participants paying for the chance to win something, you should meet with your organization advisor and they can help you brainstorm and come up with an activity that is appropriate for your event.